Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel and the Dragon Suplex Podcasting Network. I'm putting this one up Sunday evening because I kind of, glossed over AEW last episode. I knew I told you guys I was going to watch Impact. I'm not going to watch Impact this week. I'll watch it next week. We're going to be talking a little Impact, though. We're going to be talking a lot of AEW, and we're going to be talking about Bray Wyatt's return on Smackdown. New song comes out, says he's nervous, says he almost lost his career, or he said he did lose his career. Says he lost his confidence, his self-confidence, and he lost two people very close to him within a short span of time. I thought it was all meaningless, but I was wrong. I thought that was kind of a interesting dynamic here. He says that he's kind of speaking from the heart, and it really did seem like it too. I mean, this wasn't your typical Bray Wyatt promo, spooky Bray Wyatt promo, I would say, but it was kind of more along the lines of these Edge promos we've gotten the last few years, or some kind of maybe retirement speeches that we've gotten from some guys. But this is his return and everything. This is heartfelt promo, but then it kind of got a little wacky there. Very odd video plays on the Titantron. Is that thing still called the Titantron? The jumbo screen, what have you? And it was an odd mask. A lot of, it seemed like it was, had those cult creepy vibes. It was like cyber cult creepy vibes here a little bit here. And it said, you have no idea who you're dealing with, but you will. And it was kind of like it was Bray talking here. So this demonic creature that is, the Fiend or what we used to know as Bray Wyatt is still there, and just because he cut this heartfelt promo doesn't mean shit. He is coming back for vengeance. The song was sick. The whole vibe was cool. WWE is beating AEW. I'm with Ariel Helwani. WWE is the cooler brand right now. AEW needs to do something. I think they're doing a lot of cool shit in AEW, but they're going to have to do a lot more. Because, this Bray Wyatt thing seems really cool. A lot of the stuff they're doing with the bloodline seems really cool. Just the overall air of the product just seems cooler now. And I don't think I would have ever said anything like that this time last year. And we're going to be talking more AEW. But before we get into that, let's talk about Bobby Fish. Okay, first of all, he leaves AEW. Talks mad shit about CM Punk before going to Impact. Impact fans don't give a flying fuck about this guy. They start giving him the CM Punk chants in 2022. I personally love the troll aspect of these CM Punk chants and how they won't die and how they just get passed along to, people for different reasons. Everyone from Stephanie McMahon to Bobby Fish are getting these CM Punk chants. And now he was spotted at an NXT taping alongside of Anthony Green, who was most recently seen in Noah after getting released from the WWE, the same time as Fish. We do know a lot of guys are getting re-signed. I do know that, Bobby Fish is getting up there in age, so maybe you can use him as a player coach role in Florida in the NXT system. You can have him put over guys like Braun Breaker. You can have him put over guys like what's his name, Dragunov, the guy who came from NXT UK, who had those great matches with Walter. I'm slipping on the name. And I think that's a much better home for him than Impact, especially when he's cutting these promos to crickets. And it's going viral for how much the crowd really cared that he was, out there cutting these promos. But if you go back to 2016, 2017 Ring of Honor, a lot of the stuff they would do, these long-winded storytelling promos, would be to crickets as well. So I think he was kind of used to that. Good on him for pushing through. But man, yeah, the Impact crowd did not give a shit about this. And they usually care about their guys, their Impact guys. And I don't think that Bobby Fish is an Impact guy. And I think that they can smell the fact that he's probably going to leave pretty soon. And it's true, he was at the NXT taping. But now going in to AEW from last week, we're going to be breaking down every single match from worst to first. But before I do that, let me go into what I think about the things that happened between the matches. Renee Paquette is the latest talent to get the former WWE guy Pop from the AEW live crowd. She is in AEW. I do not think she's going to be a needle mover by any fucking means, but, it keeps the champ happy to have his wife around. I love Christian getting cheered until he made that shot at the Maple Leafs. I thought that was true, Canada fashion here. Don't talk shit about the hockey team, especially since, Christian went from Toronto area to Tampa and now actively cheers for the Lightning, the team that's like won 2 or 3 championships here now, where the Leafs can't get out of the first round. Sean Spears even got that hometown pop here, kind of. I was a little surprised that they even went for this one here because, he's been an AEW guy for a few years now, but he's always been good at playing a piece of shit in AEW, so it's like kind of hard to see that stench go off of him. But he had the Canadian shirt. He's Canada's own. Canada is usually cheering for bad guys anyway, so I think they just kind of were excited that he came back out. But I think that was a pretty big gamble on Tony Khan's part. And then we had something a little strange here. MJF yelling at Stokely Hathaway. I did not know how to take this. I thought that, MJF was calling the shots, but, you kind of are putting a little sympathy on Stokely, where most of the time Stokely's going to be the main, speaker for all these guys in MJF's new faction, the Firm. And you kind of want him to have heat. You don't want him to have sympathy while he's doing Max's bidding here. So I thought that was a little risky to do as well. Mox comes out and MJF watching from above, kind of stealing the audience's attention until Hangman, who's out there as well, cuts like almost a promo of the year, resenting the fact that he's getting called kid, starts yelling and giving examples of how he's a man standing up fighting for himself. Toronto believes it. I believe it. He starts punching himself in the head, kind of like Flair used to do on Nitro or on TNA, busting himself open. This was great. Best promo outside of MJF and CM Punk all year in AEW, probably even all of wrestling. Hangman deserves the title again. I said it before when Hangman had the title. It was a very important title run for AEW, and ever since he lost the title, it's been a bunch of bullshit. I mean, they put it on Punk, he gets injured, so then they have an interim title, which goes on Mox, and they put it back on Punk, he gets injured, so now it's back on Mox. So it's just been hot potato, and I think the overall title itself has been, lost a little prestige since Hangman had it, and it hasn't been because Hangman this time last year was having great matches with Danielson, but then after Danielson they really didn't know what to do with him. I mean, Archer is a great opponent kind of for a transition program, but that was a telltale sign that they didn't really know what to do with Hangman after he had those matches with Danielson. He kind of was just holding the title the whole time for Punk, which now in hindsight looks real bad. So I'm really looking forward to this Cincinnati crowd, how they're going to take the Hangman, how they're going to take the Mox. We're going to find out here on Tuesday. Going to Rampage, though, Jose interrupts the Dark Order promo. We're getting Tin versus Roosh to kind of make up and forget about Andrade's lack of being there at all through the backstage fights that happened with Guevara. Jericho Appreciation Society come out, funny as always, interrupted by Dawson Castle and the boys, holding the most useless titles in all of AEW, and that's saying something, the ROH 6-man titles. But Dalton, a former ROH champion himself, wants a shot at Jericho here. Now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, you had the Kingdom challenge FTR, you got Dalton Castle challenge Jericho. Is there going to be an ROH show coming up pretty soon? I bet. Maybe we'll see Dalton Castle get a shot at the Ocho on Dynamite or something like that. But now we're going to break down every single match from worst to first. All 10 matches from AEW this week. Number 10, Wardlow versus QT and Camarado. Camarado is better than how they book him and how he's being used in AEW. But nonetheless, Wardlow just wins handedly. The Embassy show up, FTR show up. Shawn Spears gets that hometown pop, and the Pinnacle are faces now, standing tall in the ring. Okay, that's cool. Number 9, Ethan Page versus Isaiah Cassidy. Hometown crowd behind Page here. Cassidy hits a corkscrew to the outside. That looked pretty sick. Ego's Edge, 1, 2, 3. Ethan Page wins, so I guess now Matt Hardy and Private Party are a part of the firm somehow or something like that. We'll have to see in the coming weeks and see if this makes any sense. I feel like they have not known what to do with Matt Hardy for years now in AEW. I mean, Hardy Party was cool. Then they got Jeff back, and then they lost Jeff, unfortunately. But, I mean, Hardy Party just makes sense. It's fun to say. I feel like that was the original Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed, but they just couldn't stop from overbooking it. Number 8, Nyla versus Anna Jay. Nyla has stolen the TBS championship from Jade. Nyla missing the cannonball. Anna Jay takes advantage. Vicky and 2.0 flirting on the outside cracks me up. Inside the ring, Beast Bomb, 1, 2, 3. Nyla gets the victory. Jade sends the baddies down to get her title back. Security stops the baddies, so Jade runs down there and just boots one of them into oblivion. This was kind of cool. We learned from Wardlow that beating up security guards makes you cool, and Jade just booted one to fucking death. So now she is cool with me. Jade is over with me after she booted the security guard. Number 7, Mox and Claudio versus Butcher and the Blade. Butcher and the Blade, much like Camarado, deserve a little better, especially Blade. I think he can fucking go in the ring. Matches always make sense and have great flow whenever he's in them. But the Blackpool Combat Club makes short work of these guys. Bunny looking good for that hometown crowd as well. Number 6, Swerve and Billy Gunn. Scissor Me Daddy chants fill the Toronto air. Swerve and Control. Let's go Daddy chants. This is kind of ridiculous. Daddy can't hit the Famouser. Swerve hits the double stomp off the top. 1, 2. Billy Gunn kicks out. Goes up again. 1, 2. No. He grabs the ropes for leverage. 1, 2, 3. Swerve gets the victory. And that's when Mark Sterling comes out after the match and gives the unfortunate news that he owns the rights to Scissor Me and scissoring in the confines of pro wrestling. What a dick. He only scissors Tony Nese. But number 5, out of 10, Luchosaurus versus Jungle Boy. Christian Cage set up this match really nicely, and I think Luchosaurus set up a table really nicely in the early going. Jungle Boy dives, Luchosaurus catches him in a chokeslam sunset flip. Luchosaurus goes through the table, but that was not enough to overcome. Christian distracts Jungle Boy, inverted DVD. Luchosaurus gets the 1, 2, 3. Crowd wanted Jungle Boy, though. I think Jungle Boy is getting over, or still is over in this AEW crowd, as much as, it feels like he's not really there yet. When his song plays and during his matches, he feels over. But when you kind of think about the character Jungle Boy, he still seems like he's missing something. I don't know really what it is. I mean, it's probably obviously the promo. Sorry, guys, I got a little choked up there. Number 4 out of 5, Spears and FTR versus Cage and Gates of Agony. Spears dives, Embassy catches him, double suplex to Dax, but Cash catches him and saves him. Double sharpshooter. Prince Nana runs in and gets sharp shat on too by Shawn Spears. Full match was fun. C4, 1, 2, 3. Shawn Spears gets the hometown victory. Then the Kingdom make their AEW debut. Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Marie Kanellis. They won a shot at the ROH tag titles. That match would be pretty good. Like I said before, they're probably setting up for an ROH pay-per-view here with Dalton Castle and the Kingdom coming out. The Kingdom and the Embassy start attacking the 3 men who win the match here, but Wardlow and Joe make the save. and Pinnacle stands tall as faces. It's kind of weird to see, but it is what it is. Number 3 out of 10, Shida and Storm versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. This match was good. Baker stops the running hip attack. Baker puts on the glove, but that kind of bites her in the ass. Shida fights both of them off. Storm 0-1-2. Hayter breaks it up. Roll up after roll up. And as Taz says, the more roll ups you do, the tighter and tighter it gets. I love that kayfabe logic there. But Shida pins Baker. I know Shida's a former champion herself, but I was pretty surprised about seeing that. And then we move on to number 2 out of 10, Jericho versus Danielson. Crowd singing Judas well into this match. Jericho goes old school here, springboard to the floor on Danielson. Butterfly suplex, couldn't get it locked in. Counter into the walls, reverse that into clobbering blows here. This was awesome. I saw on Twitter someone said that because of this match, Jericho and Danielson looked like they lost a step. That guy, either was a huge WWE mark, AEW hater, or was smoking infinite amount of crack, because this match was great. The all-out match was amazing. It was the best match on the show, and the match they had in the world title tournament was amazing. You got to give credit to all these counters and reversals you see in this match. You don't really typically see in other matches. They all made sense and they ran together well. Super fucking good. Danielson, though, dodges the Judas effect. Ref bump. Daddy Magic hands Jericho the ROH title. Garcia comes down to what we think is stopping the travesty, but he actively hits Danielson with the pure title. What a bitch. Oh, I cannot believe this shit. Aligning with Jericho, stronger than ever. 1, 2, 3, Jericho retains. What good fucking writing here. What a swerve. Since everything happened at All Out with, the Elite and CM Punk, I think they say Jericho has been putting a lot of this together. And if he put this storyline together, kudos to him, because it's been fucking amazing. But that match was number 2. Number 1, Orange Cassidy versus Pock, the main event of Dynamite. This match was awesome. A lot of talk about pillars in AEW. A lot of talk about homegrown talent not getting a lot of shine. I don't know where you put Cassidy here, but this guy who got his first big national break in AEW and had a gimmick that all his own, and people can shit on it all they want, but it kind of makes sense to me. No wasted motion, just like Jerry Lawler, just like The Undertaker. Everything he does gets a bigger pop than a lot of the guys who are kind of doing the same thing but just sped up. Cassidy dives on Pock. Pock catches him and hits the Falcon Arrow to the floor, and then brings him up to the ramp, delivers a pile driver on the ramp. Cassidy ends up beating the 10 count. Pock bickering with the ref. Cassidy dives on Pock, hitting a tornado DDT. 1, 2, Pock kicks out. Beach break on the apron. Pock bleeding from the ear. He goes for the hammer, the ring bell hammer that he used to take out Trent, or Chuck Taylor, somebody. He takes somebody out with the hammer that leads to all this. Danhausen there in a hilarious costume stops him, curses him. Bryce Rimberg comes to make sense of all this that's going on with outside with Danhausen. Pock gets another hammer from under the ring. Orange Cassidy dodges that. Orange punch. Cassidy picks up the hammer, hands it to Bryce. Orange punch. 1, 2, 3. Orange Cassidy is your transatlantic champion. That's pretty cool in my book. Super over with me, Orange Cassidy. And I was a Orange Cassidy hater in the indies. I'll say that. When I saw him, I wasn't too excited. And then when he came into AEW, I kind of was apprehensive for cheering for him. I even might have talked a little shit about Will Ospreay wrestling Orange Cassidy at the Forbidden Door show, but he's consistently shut me up, just like he kind of consistently shuts up all his haters, and now he's the transatlantic champion. Cool to see him have gold in AEW. There is a shit ton of people with gold in AEW, but it's cool nonetheless that Orange Cassidy is amongst them. man, this match reminded me how much I love pro wrestling. This show reminds me how much I love pro wrestling. You guys leaving comments lets me know how much I love pro wrestling. Fly high. I'm out.